T-Bird. Once again, your weekly updates and just kind of video journal, kind of. It's my way of letting you into my world and letting you know how I go about my day and my life and what I think about various things as if you care. Just kidding. Of course you do. You're watching this, right? Aren't you? It doesn't matter. This is, first things first, I'm a musician. If you don't know, if you're just like this, having this pop up on your timeline or whatever, I'm a musician and I've been writing music since I was 16, 17. And I'm 48, so I've been writing music for like 30 years, but only sporadically recording. I think there's maybe 6 or 7 recorded instances. There is an album with a band called Tastes Like Burning. I don't have that. I don't have a copy of it anymore. I don't know where it is. And the bass wasn't very good. I was the bass player on the album. And then I did various other things with people on 4-tracks and stuff back in the day. And there was a place called UAY, United Action for Youth, in Iowa City. And I would record there a lot with Stu. Stu was fucking awesome. But, excuse me, drinking soda, that's really smart while I'm making a video. But during the last 5 or 6 years, for the last 20 years, there's been stuff like GarageBand where I could have been making my own music, but only about the last almost decade, a year short this fall, late summer fall, I will have been sober, and for the last 5 or 6, like I said, I've been actually actively recording and writing, and you know, the first album I did, All Systems Go, was completely stuff that had all been recorded and even performed live before, or had been written and performed live well before they were recorded. On this album, Inner Satellite. Sorry, I'm sitting in a chair and the whatever. You don't care. Just kidding. Of course you do. But yeah, just awkward. Like, I was trying to do this first. But Inner Satellite. Did you get a good look at it? And I landed with a perfect 10. If you could see me right now, that would be really funny. If you could see the way my legs are kind of crossed, so that I can just get back to the fucking subject. This album, my first album, there's probably 3 or 4 songs on there that were previously written and that I felt just needed to get those out. Oblivion was all brand new, except for the remix by Jake, and then by Arigato. I think everything on Arigato was brand new, except for Straight Ahead with Feeling had kind of previously been written, sort of, in a weird sort of way. It was a different song, but the band I was in, Tastes Like Burning, we did a song called that, and it was the same bass line and whatnot. But I really don't remember the lyrics as well. Perusing all my books from that time, I can't find them. And I don't even have like liner notes from the album or anything like that. So, you know, it is what it is. I don't know what your what exactly you what you can do about it, but I'm talking like it's, you know, making a house payment or something. The point is that most of the stuff I've been recording for the last 5 or 6 years is brand new, like stuff that I've been writing since I've been recording. So it's kind of overtaken. The newer stuff has overtaken the desire to make older stuff and whatnot. But that's who I am and that's what I am. You're probably like, okay, now what? This is called Once a Week with T-Bird, and what I do is I just talk about what my week was like, talk to you about the music and how it's going, maybe let you in on some of my past and whatnot, kind of dig into stuff like that. That's what I'm doing in therapy, and just generally, just kind of hopefully give you an idea of who I am. I'm a real person, and I'd really like to let you know who I am because I think I'm a fucking amazing person. Um, so this past week I went to Boulder. My friend had a great job interview and needed somebody to watch her dog at the hotel on Wednesday while she did her job interview. And I said, absolutely. I lived in Denver for 8 years, and I didn't make it to Boulder that much, but I really, really wanted to go because it's the couple times I did, Boulder's so much closer to the mountains. It's almost in the mountains, or the foothills. And, I just walked around Boulder and just everywhere I looked, just there's these giant mountains. And it's almost spiritual how beautiful it is. The nature that you're seeing and everything. It was just really beautiful. And, we did it smart. Tuesday night, drove for like 4 hours into Nebraska, stayed the night, drove like 6 hours the next day into Boulder, and then just the rest of the day was mine to do with whatever I wanted. Wednesday, I watched the dog, and then we left Wednesday night about 5 and drove till 10, and you lose an hour, so that was basically 4 hours, which meant that we basically had 5 hours the next day to travel. So we got back by like noon, 12:30. Excuse me, on Thursday. So, a quick turnaround and everything, but we almost didn't listen to music. We just talked, and that was really cool because it made the time go fast, I think. I did sleep on the way into Boulder, and I slept on the way into Des Moines, coming back. But, I just wanted to, I wanted to make sure that she wasn't just driving by herself and had nobody to talk to and nothing to talk about. Um, I think it's what you do if you're a road trip buddy. And she bought a lot of snacks, and her dog was great. The occasional gassy outburst. It's an older dog, man. What are you gonna do? Shut up. And we got along great. And the days that I stayed with her, we were just buddies, just chilling out. I also finished answering my questions for my interview, which is really cool because that's going to be coming out soon. I'm really excited for you guys to see and to read a little bit more about me and who I am and whatnot. The idea is basically just go, hey, I'm a real person and I think I'm great, and here's why. But also, here's me. Hey, right? Um, the one thing I posted on Twitter last night. I'm recording this Friday night, but so tonight, but you'll see it last night, whatever. It's time warp, man. But I noticed a lot of my friends have been saying like I've been down and whatnot, and I just wanted to say like well, before I get into that, hang on, I'm gonna take one quick break. Okay, I have to actually run to the bathroom. Sorry, I'll be back. So thank you. I had to go to the bathroom. I thought I had thought I had taken care of that, when I got home from the wild game and stuff. Another part about me is that I work at a radio station, so there's that too. So yay. Um, but a lot of my online friends have been feeling really down this week, and it's tough because I suffer from depression and anxiety, and I had a really bad week last week, and this week was really spiritually good for me and mental health wise, it was really good for me to have. I had some really bad stuff, kind of personal things, feelings and professional whatever, just kind of hit walls last week, and that was really getting me down and whatnot. Like right before my single came out, and these people I don't even know. Like, I mean, I do, but not really. But they picked me up. They picked me up. They reposted stuff. They commented like, "Hey, man, we all feel like this a lot." And so I've been trying to help. I hope help by being like, hey, you posted this last week when I was really down, and that just made me feel so good and everything. And like you said this during the poetry jam and stuff. And I just want to say, like, I'm wishing all of you peace and love, and I just really care about you so much because you've opened my mind and my life and my world up in ways that I can't even describe to you. um, Music has just kind of taken on this very uh, up until about a month or two ago. Music was kind of like this rigid thing, like I'm doing albums and then I'm doing this and then I'm doing I'm gonna do and I'm but now I'm just like I just want to play with music. I don't want to just make albums and whatnot. I want to play with music and just have fun with it, like these folks that I know on here do on Twitter. And if you follow me on Twitter at Made in Thailand, you can meet some of those people too. Maybe be nice, be nice. But I wish them all peace and love, and I hope that they find some sort of way to the light like I did, and I hope that I can help them get there. Whether I do or not is not important. The fact that they get there, right? That leads me to when I was in Boulder. There was a poetry jam on Tuesday night instead of Wednesdays, and Maddie at Streetside Sound hosted at Bluebeard Bard, um, and at Uggy. I fucking love Uggy. He makes me believe in miracles. I his positivity and just willingness to kind of try anything outside the box, man, there is no box for that dude, and I fucking love him. But just so many cool people just showing up and showing support, and I got to play my song, and it was so cool, and I got to do my rap, and it was just really, really neat, and I can't thank those guys enough, thank those folks enough for hosting that poetry jam, because I really love it a lot. Um, yeah, so that was interesting because it was like 4 o'clock, and I was in Mountain Time Zone, and it's Eastern Time Zone because the person who hosts it lives in the Eastern Time Zone, and it got moved to Tuesday for various reasons, and that I won't get into here. But so I'm like walking back from the hotel. It's like 3:30, and I just gotten lunch. I think at Potbelly, and I'm walking back. I'm like, oh shit, it's. I forgot that it's 4 o'clock here that it starts, because time zones. So I barely made it back, and I'm like, man, I'm inhaling my sandwich so I can get on the thing. And it was so much fun. Like at Sam's Wraps, um, played a brand new thing of his, and there was just so much new. Like, hey, check this out, and like this is what we're doing. It's just like, oh my god, like I think I'm talented, and I think that I've got a lot going for me as far as like what I'm putting out and whatnot. But then there's these people that are just kind of just having so much more fun with it than I am. Not that I don't have fun, but it's really cool to see, and it's just inspiring. Um, I just wanted to tell you about the poetry jam, and in a couple weeks I'll tell you about the next one. Cool. I got a little rundown. It's a mini one of basically what I want to talk to you about and everything. I do a podcast with my buddy Jake Williams, and you can probably find the link to at Off Panel Off Podcast. It's Twitter at OPOT Podcast, and on YouTube, I believe it's just Off Panel Off Topic. But I do it with my buddy Jake, and it's so much fun. We just have a blast just getting together and talking shit about whatnot. And we kind of try to fight back against alt-right douchebags, because if you don't like something, just don't watch it. You know, entertainment is generally not going to hurt whoever you think is going to hurt, and most of what people like that believe is what really hurts people. So, and most of them are doing it just for straight up money. So fuck them. But we generally just have fun. We just have fun hanging out, He's my best friend, and we worked together once upon a time. And it's almost like we do this podcast so we can hang out once a week and spend time together because he's so cool. And he's got a little baby, and his wife is super, super awesome. And his dog is super awesome. And just everybody in that household. And there was a day last Sunday, and I was just, obviously, like I told you, I was really down last week. And it was, the day before I went to Boulder. And I knew that was going to be good for my mental health. But he's like, hey, man, do you want to come out and have some Lincoln time? And that's his baby. I was like, yeah, of course. And I went out there, and it was just so much fun. And the baby is so intuitive, like knew that I needed hugs, and just came up to me, and I'm like, oh, just picked him up, and so that was really nice. And it's really just really nice to have a good support system where you know that people care enough about you to reach out or just say, hey, I feel like you're having a rough time. Do you need some stuff or whatever? You just need to come out and just hang out in a good environment. And we ended up doing an episode of the podcast anyway. But Dune Part 2 comes out this Sunday. And I am really, really, really excited because I am a huge, huge, huge fan of the books. And I read a spoiler-free review. Now, if you've read the book, you probably already know what's going to happen. But there's various twists and turns, various things that weren't exactly the same as the book in the first part. And that's okay, because the choices made were far and away better than the Dune in the 80s. Although I was talking to somebody just recently, that's a very pretty movie. And for the most part, of course, there's a lot of creative liberties, like to the point where you're like, what the fuck? But for the most part, it's a really cool movie. I like it still, even though it's David Lynch has disowned it himself. So but I'm super excited because the first one came out during COVID, and I got to watch that on my TV. Like I woke up at like 4 in the morning because it came out at like 2 in the morning, and I was like, oh my god! And I just turned it on. I was just like, oh my god, it's so amazing. So we're gonna go see that on Sunday, and this is the first time we've reviewed a movie in a while. So then we'll go back to his house and do the podcast. It's gonna be based on what time we're seeing it and how long the movie is. I'm thinking we're gonna see it. Um, we'll be back to do the podcast around like 4. Yeah, ish. That kind of stinks. It's pretty much my whole Sunday. um, maybe we won't do the podcast. We might, do notes and then talk about it on the podcast during the week because we'll get together and do an episode during the week. I think. So maybe we'll just chill on that because I would like to go home after after all that. So yeah, I'm excited for the movie, and then we're going to talk about that on the podcast. And you should check out our podcast because it's a lot of fun. Again, it's just two guys that are really big fans of each other and really respect each other a lot, and just have the same irreverent, stupid sense of humor and tastes in music and movies and all that shit. So please check out the Off Panel Off Topic podcast. And again, this Sunday, Dune Part 2. I'm really excited. I'm pretty stoked. Part 1 was great, so super, super stoked about the tickets today. And I think the last thing we need to talk about, the single's doing pretty great, thanks to a lot of my online friends, and also I think my stuff's picking up steam a little bit. I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to do the album, the 12 or 13 songs, like I can never remember, but the 12 or 13 songs that I've written for 1071. I'm not sure if I'm going to use all of them, or if I'm going to do a couple of things. I feel like maybe putting out 1071 as is. I felt like I did like kind of a leap in my songwriting from from Inner Satellite to Arigato. In Arigato, I did like 3 all country songs. I did like kind of a noise rock song. I did an electronica and instrumental song. Um, and then I kind of did 80s. It was me, but more like, hey, this is what I'm capable of, and this is, really cool. I don't want to just put out Arigato, or rather, I don't want to put out this again. And so there's a lot of ideas I have, so I'm not sure what I'm going to be doing. But I am excited to see what the future holds. And again, another reason why we might not do the podcast on Sundays is because I need to get home and work on some fucking music. Because the albums are due in July, and although From the Machine is pretty much done, minus a couple of tweaks to various vocals, 1071 is far from done. In fact, I believe Testify, since it's going on the album, is the only one that's going to be done. I've also toyed with the idea of not putting Testify on this album and putting it on next year's album, which I've already kind of started thinking of ideas for the title and everything else, because that's all I do is just sit around and think about my music. That's what you do when you're a creator. You have ideas of things and what you want to do, and it's hard to not follow through those visions, because it's just hard not to. It's hard not to listen to that voice in your head that's like, dude, what about this, man? Like, you'll see, like, you'll just see something. You're making coffee in a hotel, and you see something that just, what? Hang on a second. The first song on Arigato, Domo, which of course I'm super clever. The first song is Domo, and the last song is Arigato. You get it? Domo, Arigato, all right. Dumbass. No, sorry. I'm working on being nicer to myself. Man, that's really clever, Tyler. But Domo just kind of came out of nowhere, and it was kind of serendipitous, and I want to, I liked that I could incorporate that into the album. But 1071, I don't know if I want to try and break up all the songs that I've already kind of made demos for, even, and just say, okay, and just play and make up something completely different, or wait for something to just come into my worldview, kind of like Testify did, or whether I want to, even put out anything. Maybe I just want to put out From the Machine and then singles until like next year, and make another album that's out of this world, just crazy good, like everything that I like and everything that I can do. I don't know. Thinking about it. But regardless, you'll have more stuff for me, and I really hope you check out the single if you haven't yet. And tell all your friends, dude, because I'm really cool, and I really want to make it. And the only way I'm going to make it is from help, or is with help. Hustle from me, help from others, and a little bit of luck. So if you can help doing your part, hit subscribe on the channel. Go to OPOT, or Off Panel Off Topic, on YouTube and subscribe. But I really appreciate it, and thank you so much. Have a great week, and I'll talk to you next week on Once a Week with T-Bird. Have a good day. Have a good week.